Attention recruits. Today we're covering 11 essential percentage questions for your ASVAB prep. ASVAB Tutoring has helped over 11,000 applicants strengthen their scores, and we continue to support U.S. Air Force candidates every day. If you need backup, request a one-on-one tutor, or train on the ASVAB Tutoring app. Let's begin.
Question asked here, what is 3.5% in decimal? So you might learn this type of problem when you are in 3rd or 4th grade, but you might not remember. The easy way you could do it, let me write that down in here, 3.5%, right? Anytime if you want to make this percent into a decimal, you have to move 2 decimal places from right to left. So let's do that. 1, 2, decimal is here. If you don't have enough digits, so what you have to do, you have to fill out with 0. So that gives you 0.035. So with that, the correct answer is option D. So make sure that you practice this type of question you might see in the actual ASVAB test. Hi everyone, here is another important problem for the ASVAB arithmetic reasoning. The problem says 6 is what percent of 30? If you want to solve any kind of percentage related problem, you could follow this formula. It will really help you. So let me write that down. That is part over whole equal percent over 100. Now which one should go where? So is means part, right? And this of means whole. So plug the value. So 6 over 30 equal to percent means say this is x over 100. So if you cross multiply, that gives you 30x equal to 600 divided both sides by 30 divided by 30. So that gives you x equal to 20. So that correct answer is 20%. Here is another easiest question you might see in the ASVAB arithmetic reasoning section. The question says convert 25% to a fraction. So the percentage means out of 100. So that means if you write that is 25 over 100. So now if you want to get the final answer and match with the answer option, you have to simplify it. So anytime you simplify a fraction, you have to divide top and bottom by the same number. You could split into small, or you could do in one shot. So if you divide top and bottom by 25, that gives you 1 over 4. So that is the correct answer option B. Let's practice this arithmetic reasoning question for the ASVAB, PICAT, CAT-IV, AFQT, AFCT, and ASVAB GT. The question asked here, 9 is what percent of 60, right? So this is a percentage related problem. So if you see the problem like that, you have to find the percent. You could use a formula. This is a powerful formula. That is part over whole equal to percent over 100, right? Now which number go where, right? So you need to remember that part means is, so 9 is, so that is the part, right? And of means whole, so of 60, so that is 60, right? So you have to find the what percent. So that is, say this is x, so you could write here x over 100, right? So if you cross multiply that, that gives you 60x equal to 900, right? So if you divide it by 60 on both sides by 60, this 60 cancel out, right? So this 0 cancel out. Now that x equal to 90 divided by 6 is 15. So the correct answer is option D. Make sure that you practice multiple times in order to fully understand the problem. Hi everyone, here is another ASVAB arithmetic reasoning problem on percentage. The problem says 15 is 60% of what number? So if you want to solve any kind of percentage related problem, you could write this formula called part over whole equal percent over 100. So where part is, right, and of means the whole, so you have to find the of what number. That means you have to find the whole. So let's plug that value in here. So that gives you 15 over x equal to 60%. So that is 60 over 100. Now if you cross multiply that, that gives you 60x equal to 1500. If you divide both sides by 60, let's do it together. So these 0 cancel out, 60 cancel out. So you have left side, you have x, the right side 150 divided by 6, that gives you 25. So that is the correct answer, answer D. Let's practice one of those most popular topic on the actual ASVAB test. I've been teaching ASVAB over 10 years. You have thousands of people to improve their ASVAB score. And also, if you look for the popular video on YouTube, TikTok, this percentage related problem, you have the most number of views. So let's learn how to solve this percentage related problem. The question says here, 9 is what percent of 50, right? So in order to solve this problem, let me write that down. The easiest formula, that is a part over whole equal to percent over 100. Now which number go where, right? So always keep that in mind. Is means part, right? And of means whole. So let's plug the value here. So 9 over 50 equal to x over 100. Now what you could do, cross multiply, that gives you 50x equal to 900, right? Now divide both sides by 50. 50 cancel out here. So 0 cancel out. So that gives you x equal to 90 divided by 5 equal to 18. So with that, the correct answer is option C. Let's practice another very important arithmetic reasoning question on percentage. The question says 9 is 25% of what number? So if you watch our previous video, so there is a formula you could use, that is part over whole equal to percent over 100. You can find any kind of percentage related problem using the formula. So where part is the part, and of means whole. So that is 9 over whole is not given, so you have to find that. So say like that is x, and then 25% is 25 over 100. Now if you cross multiply that, that gives you 25x equal to 900, right? Divide both sides by 25, divide this side by 25, 25 cancel out. If you divide 900 divided by 25, that gives you 36. So the correct answer is option C. Let's practice another very important basic arithmetic reasoning question on the ASVAB test. The question asks here 5 and 1/4% of 80. In order to solve this problem, first what you have to do, you have to rewrite this 5 and 1/4, right? So 5 and 1/4 means 5.25%, right, of 80. Now what you have to do, you have to make this percent into a decimal. So in order to do that, you have to move 2 decimal places from right to left. So let's do this 1, 2, right? And if you don't have enough digit, you have to fill out with 0. Now you have to multiply with this number with 80. So let's do it. 0.0525, right? Anytime if you want to multiply decimals, forget about decimals. So let's multiply without a decimal first. So that gives you 80 times 5 to 5. So now multiply regular way, put a 0 here, right? And now multiply 8 with everything. So 8 times 5 is 40, 0, right? Carry 4. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 4 is 20, 0. Carry 2. 8 times 5 is 40 plus 2 is 42, right? Now you have to bring the decimal back in. So after the decimal, how many digits do you have? You have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to move 4 decimal places from right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is 4.2, which is option A. Here is another very important ASVAB percentage related problem you should know before you take the ASVAB test. The question says here, Sam earned $720 last week. Her pay is based on 6% commission of all sales. What were Sam's total sales last week? So in order to solve this problem, say her last week sale was X amount, right? If you find 6% of this X amount, that gives you 720. So then you could find X, right? So if you do that, if you want to make this percent into a decimal, you have to move 2 decimal places. So that gives you 0.06. So X times 0.06 equal to 720, right? Now, if you divide both sides by 0.06, 0.06, so this and this one is cancelled out, X. So in order to divide, the easy way you could do it, you could move 2 decimal places in from left to right, do exactly same here, add 2 zeros, right? Now you could divide easily 72,000 by 6, right? 6 goes into 72 is 12, and then put 3 zeros, right? So with that, that gives you X equal to 12,000. The answer is option A. So make sure that you practice this type of question over and over again in order to be master on it. Let's practice this arithmetic reasoning question for the ASVAB, PICAT, CAT-IB, AFQT, AFCT, and ASVAB GT. So the question asks here, Jane borrowed $3,000 at 5% simple interest per year. How much did she owe after 3 years? So what you have to do first, you have to find first how much interest she has to pay, and then add the total interest to the principal. That will give you the total amount. So let's do that. The formula to find the interest, I equal to PRT. So that is principal rate times, so the principal is 3,000. 3,000 times rate is 5%. Anytime you multiply percent, you have to make this percent into a decimal. That gives you 0.05. And then the time is 3 years. So multiply that by 3. So let's multiply these two together. So whenever you multiply, forget about decimal. So multiply without decimal. That gives you 1, 2, 3 zeros. 3 times 5 is 15. So after the decimal, you have 2 digits, 1, 2. So move 2 decimal places. This is 3. Now you have to multiply that by 3, right? So you have here 0 here. 3 times 5 is 15. 5 carry 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. So 450 is the interest. Now you have to add with this interest with the principal. So let's do that here, so that you have 3,000 plus 450. So add them up. So 0, 5, 4, 3. So the correct answer is option D. When you practice for your ASVAB arithmetic reasoning question, many people get stuck with a percentage related problem, right? So let's practice a problem that will help you to prepare for your ASVAB, PICAT, CAT-IB, AFQT, AFCT, and ASVAB GT. The question says here, an item is priced at $300. It goes on sale for 25% off. What is the new price. So in order to solve this problem, first you have to find how much is the discount, right? So let's do that. You have $300 original price and 25% off. So you have to multiply that by 0.25. Anytime you multiply on the percent, you need to make this percent into a decimal, and when you multiply decimal, forget about decimal. So you have 300 times 25, right? So that gives you 300 times 25, 75, right? After the decimal, you have two digit 1 2. You need to move two decimal places from right to left, 1 2, right? So that means the $75 is off, right? So now you have to subtract this $75 from $300. So let's do that. So 300 minus 75. So 5 to that becomes 10, that becomes 9, that becomes 2. So 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 7 is 2. This is 2. So that is $225. So with that, the correct answer is option A.